Hey, good day to you. Guru Mayor here. Just wanted to give a little chat today. I'm a life coach, and so a lot of what I do to help people is talk about practicalities, what's happening in life. So I wanted to talk today about conditions that create unhappiness and how you can clear them sometimes more easily than you might think. So creating emotional health involves several areas. You've got to have better information about emotions and how they work. You've got to then practice to change old poor habits about how to work with emotions. And that's mostly what I've been doing here in this series. That's kind of my main mission in life, is information and practices. Then you take those skills and you clear up the past, clear up unprocessed experiences that are affecting you today. And all of that brings you to a place where you gradually become much more highly functional in your ability to process difficult situations and emotions that come up today or every day. So that's all very internal work, right? You've got to know yourself and work with yourself and your reactions, your feelings, and your thoughts. So today I wanted to do something different, just very practically looking at conditions that create suffering or make it harder to be happy that you may have been living with for a very long time. And therefore they seem normalized, they seem just that's life. But sometimes you look around and you see, well, someone else's life doesn't have those. Someone's got that different condition. Now, maybe that's, due to a lot of factors, genetics on, down. But it does mean that someone's condition that's better than yours means that it's possible for a human to do. So I'd like to interest you in thinking about different parts of your life, conditions, environments that make life hard, that if you change those, life wouldn't be so hard. So let's start with health and personal habits. I've been doing yoga for most of my life, and yet I've got some arthritis in my hip. Was yoga supposed to make that not happen? Well, I'm a human being, so it happened. In spite of what I thought was the best care I could take for myself. So, first of all, I'm talking about accepting things that can't be changed, although I've done a lot of work to work with it and ameliorate the condition. But what about situations that my diet, rest, maybe I did overwork myself through years, and that created some of that pain in my joints. So let's just talk self-care, the first area of conditions that might be making your happiness harder. Do you get the right amount of sleep, the right amount of exercise, the best diet for you? Most of us know things that we could improve whether we're doing them or not. And this isn't some guilt trip or anything. It's just about cause and effect, right? Am I making life harder because of some of my personal habits? Okay, so another area is the way I manage my life, my time, my schedule. Do I try to do too many things and therefore I'm not resting enough, or I'm overwhelmed, or I'm stressed all the time? So if you think about what causes your stressors, how many of those are actually changeable? And you might need some outside input. This is where life coaching comes in, but a friend can help you see maybe what you can't see. Somebody who doesn't seem rushed or as stressed as you, talk to them about how they manage their schedule, manage their paperwork. How about finances? Finances are a big source of stress. Have you gotten the right information, support, advice, and systems to make finances as under your control as possible? work and your daily life. So, well, let me go to your physical environments first. Is your car like constantly on the thread of a breakdown? Do you have a pain in your teeth that you haven't addressed and it's just there looming like it might be something wrong and you haven't dealt with it? So medical concerns, but also the repair, the conditions of your house, clutter, things that just make life harder that can be fixed. And if they can't be fixed by you, it seems, then, you know, hire a declutterer, get a friend who seems to be very good at something that you're not, and get their help. Finally, I want to just come to the area, well, your work, of course, is a really big one. You may feel that it's not satisfactory and you don't have any choice, but there's changing your work, but there's also changing how you do your work, your attitude to your work. And finally, I just want to mention relationships, because that's probably one of the bigger stressors for people. It's also one of the bigger ways that we attain peace and happiness and comfort and love. So it's really important. Now, this is a big, big area that I coach people on all the time. You know, well, where to begin? It's just big, but so important. So you can take individual relationships and individual aspects of them that are causing you stress or making you miserable, and consider how you might improve your communication, how you might change how that relationship goes, setting boundaries, knowing what you need and want, and speaking up are really basics that are too often we're not competent with. Some relationships are toxic and that they just aren't going to improve. Somebody asked me the other day, well, how do you know when a relationship is toxic, beyond repair, and should be left? Well, there's no one answer to that, because relationships are so varied, but I find that most people haven't done everything they can to work with communication, boundaries, and make that relationship better. So I generally, unless it's clearly already abusive and harmful, to really practice, learn within this painful relationship, or parts of the relationship that are painful, how to make them better. And that's a whole topic I won't attempt to try to simplify right now, but take it on, relationship at a time, one aspect of the relationship at a time, and make a project out of how can this be better. Again, get help. We've all been doing things the way we've been doing them for so long that, you know, books, tapes, courses, coaches, counselors, you know, can really speed up your learning curve, because most of those sources of information have seen better ways and can teach them. So that's what I wanted to just share with you today. Can you clear up conditions in your life that are creating unhappiness? And so my favorite analogy is, you're growing, you're trying to reach happiness and grow. And even if your life so far has been like a paved parking lot that makes it really hard to thrive and be happy, but you've seen grass growing up through the pavement. In fact, go to a mall that's been closed for 10 years and it's basically, you know, becoming a park again in terms of all the grass taking over. So that kind of resilience lives in life, in you, and you can overcome, you know, tremendous odds. Did you see the Paralympics recently? You know, the guy that had no arms, and he won the swimming gold medal. So people overcome conditions. But my point today is, if that grass is coming up through the pavement, but keeps getting paved over again. Like you peak up, you're making progress, but the conditions in your life are just adding another layer of difficulty and making it extremely hard to do so. Yeah, you're gonna think life can never be better. So accept the things you can't change, but change the things you can. And some of the things you think you can't because they've been that way so long, you grew up, it was that way with your mother since you were a baby, whatever it is, that doesn't, the universe is expanding and evolving. So keep the hope, but make the change, be the change. That's what I wanted to share with you today. No meditative practice. This is make a list of the things that are bothering you the most, giving you the most stress, and start breaking them apart and finding out what can be done about it. It's really good to get outside perspective, sit with a friend and someone that's you feel is a good source of advice, and deal with the practicalities, okay? We'll be back, and of course, internal work is mostly what I teach, but there's the practical side, the very tangible side that can make huge, huge difference. All right, so good luck with all that, and this is Guru Mayor from beautiful North Carolina saying peace be with you. Okay, take care.